Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekend update. Since we last spoke a couple of weeks ago, a lot has happened. We have a new president, but we still have the same split Congress. So no matter what side of the aisle you're on, there's some good positives that are pretty much going to guarantee another up year next year. What sectors are going to be benefited from that? So far, this is the 15-minute chart. Just a remarkable move, 3,000 point move over the last 2 weeks. This is the daily chart on the Dow. You can see this phenomenal move, but where do we go from here? Really, really tough spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out and we're going to look at a 1 year plus chart. This was the highs we hit earlier in the year before the pandemic implosion. And you can see this past week, we finally broke out, made a new high on that monster post-election rally. And, we're sitting here every single day. It's up, up, up. Now, where do we go from here? As you can see, the last two big sell-offs we've had, the 200-day moving average is rock solid support. So if you're looking for a spot to where you decide to go cash in your long-term plays, a break under the 200-day moving average is what you're looking at. As long as we hold above this 26K level, all systems are go. We hit 29.9. It's hard to imagine us being up here, even with the extent of the rally, that they don't try to make a 30K print. Whether it happens this week or in the next month or so, I'm thinking we're going to see this before year end. What sectors are going to benefit with the scenario we have here? For all intents and purposes, we know Biden is the winner. Trump all but said that in a speech this weekend, and the Senate is essentially split until we get that vote in January. So that's going to kind of push an upward bias on the market. But the reason I brought this chart up, even though we are hitting all-time highs, the pandemic is absolutely exploding. We are making new highs on cases and deaths each day. We're starting to see a lot of cities and states starting to lock down for 2 to 3 weeks. It's happening in Europe as well. But surprisingly, there is absolutely hardly any movement in the COVID stocks. That's probably going to change soon, but it's still not a time for us to really run into them. I did change things up a little bit this week. You'll notice if you've been in the chat room, we're starting to pick up a lot more swings. We're moving back into that swing stance again because we've finally gotten through the election nonsense, and now we can start moving back to those nice swing plays. The swings actually did very, very well this week, and we're going to jump into them here in a second. Quick mention on the NASDAQ, the COVID stocks are dead. Watch them this week. I think we're going to see a movement in them, and we're going to go over those stocks going forward. AYRO, one of the hot sectors we saw this week was the EV stocks. EV stocks simply on fire. AYRO, as I mentioned, this is one of my big plays into 2021. Massively undervalued stock, in my opinion. When you look at its market cap and you compare it to the likes of Solo, that has absolutely gone on a tear with its three-wheel cycle, AYRO is a way better stock, in my opinion. That's why we are swinging it long. Another swing that did very well, and we're actually looking at the weekly chart here, is ARPO. They presented this week. Nothing new, but you can see here this stock is about to break out. Now, one of two things are probably going to happen this week. We're going to run into a little bit of resistance here in this 175 to 190 level, or this stock is just going to blow up. So where would I add this one? Every time it has dipped down to the 130s or under, it has been an excellent pickup for both a day trade position and adding to the swing position. So let's see what this one does, but it looks fantastic on this weekly chart going into the upcoming week. ADMP, of course, some of the action on a lot of these stocks is really head scratching. ADMP has a big day today, possible FDA news tomorrow morning. Let us see. And that's a bonus piece of news for their opioid drug. We're playing this one for the COVID-19, but we get a nice press release tomorrow, and we're looking good. This chart is ready to go. As you can see here, I've notated the positive MACD crosses this stock has had over the last few months, and when it has done a positive MACD cross, it has blown up nicely. So let's see if we get that nice little piece of news here this week. INUV. Yeah, I got to mention it because there's going to be 9,000 posts in the Moon tomorrow yapping about it. Even though 90% of you guys crying on this stock probably should not be trading stocks. This is a fantastic trading stock. Since the stock sold off in August, we've gone from 44 to 35 to 47 to the low 30s, back to 40, back to 35, 44. If you bought versus whining each one of these dips, this position, the swing position, is free, what, 4 times over now, even playing small shares. Bottom of the range, let's see if we can get that push up. 45 cents is the breakout. We want to close over 45 cents. Now, why do these close prices matter? You recall when I did the video before, I said when we had a close over $1, that would be a great sign for AYRO. And we actually had that happen midweek and the stock blew up. So again, when we come back to INUV, it's the close over 45 cents sets it free. But I'm fine playing this ATM machine stock until, it finally does break out. Speaking of the EV stocks, PIC. This is one of our swing positions here. Chart looks fantastic. Given the junk that is moving in the EV sector and the market caps being assigned to them, the growth that these guys have that actually have sales, this, aside from having a fantastic chart, is just a perfectly set up play. I mean, Fisker is up 100% over the last couple of weeks. Their product doesn't even hit the market for a couple of years. Now, after hours, this stock was trading at over the breakout level I had mentioned in the chat room on Friday. The 200-day, all these moving averages here, they've been capping it before they set it free. So let's see if that after-hour action translates to that move on Monday. First target on the bounce would be the 50-day. But I mean, we're looking for 20 to 40% upside here in the near term. Now, I'm going to shake things up a little bit and talk about some large cap stocks. Snowflake, the IPO that Buffett bought into, this looks bottomed. This has been a stock that has done very well. It likes to range, and we are at the bottom of its range. Now, this is the 1-hour chart. You can see it looks really, really good. This is going back to 275, but that's just my opinion. This is a long-term position for me, but every time it's gotten back down here after a sell-off, it's usually given a $20 to $40 upside move very quickly. Looking at the daily chart, even though this is a fresh trade, this is a really oversold MACD. So aside from whatever news is out there, this should do a natural big bounce very, very soon. Quick mention on space, they're supposed to do their trial test flight soon, but you can see here on this pulled out 1-year chart, we're at a resistance level here. If you're looking to pick up more shares in your long-term position, if it dipped to the 17, 18s, that's where I would be looking to pick up shares on this one. I did add a new long-term position today, FUBO TV, fantastic earnings report. Just incredible growth on this stock. They chased it up at 20 and then it got beat down. Now, this stock loves to range. I've been watching it for the last couple of days. This thing gives off some nice little intraday moves, but this is a new long-term position for me. Initial buys, and I'll be adding, any significant weakness on it and looking to trade this one intraday. From what I've seen so far, it trades really, really nicely. Wanted to make a quick mention on Tesla. The crazy thing about this last week is the absolute leader of EVs was deader than dead in the last week. While we have EV stocks going crazy, Tesla has been doing absolutely nothing except bleeding. The momentum has kind of been sucked out of this stock for the near term. Now, that means one of two things. Tesla is about to go on a big bounce, or these EV stocks are about to get slapped up the side of the head here in the next couple of days. Let's see. One thing to note though, volume and volatility has really dried up on Tesla here. A big move is coming. I'm inclined to think that it's going to be a big pop here in the near term, but let's see. Last stock I wanted to mention real quick was TTNP. This is one of these penny stocks. It takes a lot of volume to move this stock. What's our downside on this one? 1.5 cents for the potential for 10 cents upside, especially when we're entering penny season. These penny stocks tend to do very, very well over the next 3 to 4 months. So that's why I'm liking this one. This is going to need a monster volume day to move. We're talking 100 million plus day will be our indication that it's ready to rock and roll, and then 200 million plus, it's off to the races. You've seen what stocks can do from down here, no matter how big their float is. Look at what SNDL did. This stock would not move for the longest time, and then it went from 14 cents to 60 cents over the course of a week. So as we can see, when the volume comes in and the robots decide it's time to go, these plays can move. That's it for the video, guys. Like I said, we're still high cash. We're not rushing back in to reduce our cash levels. I'm starting to pick up more swings, but they're still the normal position sizes. We're inching back in. This is not a marathon. We're going to slowly start to add more and more swing plays and look and see what sectors are ready. With the number of COVID cases, I'm keeping a watch on all those stocks we played earlier in this year because they are overdue for a big bounce. So, that's the strategy for this upcoming week. Please like and share the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, just click on the button below and do that. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.